I don't believe artists of the future are going to survive unless they literally own their copyright, their data, put in place methods to streamline the process so that they can take back their time to be creative. And through these methods, we'll be able to sustain a true living. There is no way of confirming that you will make a living, of course. There are no absolutes in this life, but you are going to have a very difficult time if you are not bringing the fans directly to you, owning everything, offering your fans extreme amounts of value that they've never experienced before, monetizing it yourself directly, and using tech to your advantage to where you are leveraging your art, not being leveraged. And that will be your best shot at sustaining a career.
All right, ladies and gents, gather round. We got value going once, truth going twice, sold for a song. That's right, folks. Rights signed away, data given away, pennies on the play. Publishing, gone. Credit, missing. Ownership, kiss it goodbye. 50 pages of catch-22s, no dice. You can't eat a like, a follow, or a view. Sold for a song. But wait now, hold your bids, hold your breath. Here comes the truth louder than the bass lines. Time to take it back. Where the artists rise, the system shakes, and the silence finally breaks.
Welcome to Sold for a Song, the transformative podcast that dissects the music industry's long-standing practice of undervaluing its most essential contributors. Yes, we're talking songwriters and artists. In each episode, we'll delve into the journey of recognizing and elevating the true worth and value of music creators, discover how the industry has exploited creators, and learn actionable strategies to revolutionize this trend and take control of your career. Hello, podcast land. I'm Terrence Sawchuk, but you can call me Terry. After 30 plus years in the trenches of the music industry, trust me, I've seen it all. The highs, the heartbreaks, and the resilience it takes to succeed as a creator. Here's what I've learned. Awakening your self-worth, owning and leveraging your value, and streamlining the process to free up the time we need to do what we most love to do, which is create. That's what stands between you and the freedom we're all chasing. All right, before we dive in, if you believe in empowering artists and redefining what it means to thrive creatively, do me a favor, subscribe, leave a quick review, and share this episode with someone who truly needs it. That one click helps more than you know. And if you want to go deeper, join me at terrencesawchuk.com to be a part of the community and follow all of my endeavors for exclusive content and updates.
Hello and welcome to Sold for a Song, the podcast. Sorry, I'm a little under the weather. We are just getting through the end of the holiday time, and I managed to catch whatever was going around. So that's why the nasally vocal tone today. What I wanted to do today was kind of take time to do the 2025 year in review. I want to take the opportunity to actually thank all of the incredible guests that we've had on the show this year. It boggles my mind when I realize who's actually spent the time to talk with me and help creatives with all that is standing in front of them in this modern day in the music industry. I hope that artists and creatives are getting a ton of value out of this. That is the point of all of this. So a big shout out to, I'm literally going to go through all of my guests here. Patrick Clifford, who's a incredibly good friend of mine. If you live here in Nashville, you know absolutely who this man is. He's nicknamed the Pope of 5 Points. So Patrick, legendary A&R executive, broke the careers of so many artists, Blues Traveler, The Romantics, on and on and on. He shared so many wonderful stories about John Lennon and Yoko Ono and being in the Dakota. Just a wonderful, wonderful look into the perspective and through his eyes growing up in the New York scene. Very, very grateful for that. Also, another incredibly close friend of mine, Mr. Neville Drew Shendy. He is like having Santa Claus as a best friend. He is just a wonderful human being. Anybody that knows Neville knows that just, so much vitality and passion just comes with him anytime he's around. And I'm not surprised why he was handpicked by people like Prince to be a personal tour bus driver for a long, long time. So he shared wonderful stories about Prince and all the other incredible artists that he's worked with over the years. He is a treasure trove of information for anybody that's looking to become a tour bus operator or anybody in that scene, tour managers. Please go out and get his book, CDL Platinum. He also has a course available for up and coming drivers, and you got to follow him. cdlplatinum.com. Well, hello. We might get some visits from Tomato and Tomato, my cats, today. I just get tired of trying to edit them out, so, you might get a visit from them. And of course, who can forget the Mr. Eddie Schwartz, Hit Me With Your Best Schwartz, the one and only composer of the legendary song, Hit Me With Your Best Shot. Eddie's written so many incredible songs. He has been an absolute soldier for songwriters around the world for decades. I mean, receiving the Order of Canada, you name it. Very few people have stood up for creatives like Eddie has, and it was an absolute honor to have him, my good friend, on the podcast as well. Mr. Roger Cook, the legend himself, Hall of Famer. My God, I'm so lucky to have this guy in my life. And like I said, he's been more of a mentor than he was a co-writer, and just a wonderful friend to actually get to know and write songs with some people that have written, some of the most famous songs that you grew up with that really influenced you is just an honor. And I really appreciate his friendship. Daphne Willis graced our Sold for a Song podcast. I call her the Pride of Chicago. She is the quintessential hardest working, hustling artist. She's done it all, from major record deals to managing an independent career like very few artists ever have. You have to follow her. She is an absolute volcanic personality and songwriter and hustler and businesswoman. Just incredible. Please check out Daphne Willis. Mr. Fred Mullen, I can't thank enough. I just call him, in Fred we trust. He is that producer that when you've got legends, like Jimmy Webb, and he's going to do a record of his songs, and they're going to have all the greatest artists in history that want to guest appear on it. Who are you going to trust to oversee albums like that? I mean, Fred is that guy. Wonderful spirit. He has a new book out. Please follow Mr. Fred Mullen. Check out his new book. I want to thank Mr. Dennis McCoskey, another great friend, collaborator. You know Dennis from songs like Maniac and so many others. He also has a side hustle where he has a publishing company where he signed the incredible Michael Hardy. Dennis has had a wonderful career. Please follow him. He's got a book in the works as well. And trust me, you don't want to miss out on his story. This one was a real treat for me. Frederick Dannon, the book, The Hitman, really changed kind of the way I prepared myself for the music business. When that book came out in 1990, it was kind of the same year that I started in the music business. I can't tell you how that helped shape me getting ready for the music business. And what an honor to, be new at podcasts in general and interviewing people, and then to sit down with an investigative journalist with a track record like his was an absolute honor. Please follow everything that Frederick Dannon is doing. And most recently, I would like to thank Dr. Connie Tomeno for being a guest. Dr. Tomeno is an actual pioneer in the field of music therapy. The value that she has brought health through music is incredible. Please follow anything that Dr. Tomeno is involved in. So thank you again, guests. Some of the big topics that we covered in 2025, AI obviously being the big one. How is it going to affect, writing music, administration, just how it's going to affect everyone on so many different levels. It's kind of scary and amazing all at the same time. I mean, I do see a lot of, we'll call it the changing of the guard. You're going to see a lot of jobs lost, specifically in the music industry. You're going to see a lot of companies starting to use full AI for their own commercials and ads. I'm assuming this is a no-brainer, where that's going to replace the average artist and songwriter making money from sync placements. I'm hoping that's not the case. It seems like it's going to be a obvious step. I think you are going to see a large portion, if not the majority, of composers and producers and engineers using AI just for the speed, the low cost. It really is transformational what's going to be happening and is happening. A topic we spoke about, which I think is so important, is the future of the fan and the artist going forward. I think we're going to be seeing, especially the independent artist, is going to need to focus directly on the fan. And the fan will have the opportunity to have a more personal relationship with artists that they are following. Right now, everybody is leveraging the artists. They're leveraging them from a tech standpoint to super fans and merchandise everywhere that they can. And what's important is that the artist draws everybody to their own portal and to their own website and cut out intermediaries. Have this direct relationship with fans at their own kind of portal or website, we'll call it. That is going to be, I think, the way of the future. It is definitely not from trying to monetize DSPs. They have a market share model that doesn't really allow for the creators to leverage their own art as they should. I introduced a framework of basically ownership, leverage, streamlining, and sustaining. So I don't believe artists of the future are going to survive unless they literally own their copyright, their data, put in place methods to streamline the process so that they can take back their time to be creative. And through these methods, we'll be able to sustain a true living. There is no way of confirming that you will make a living, of course. There are no absolutes in this life, but you are going to have a very difficult time if you are not bringing the fans directly to you, owning everything, offering your fans extreme amounts of value that they've never experienced before, monetizing it yourself directly, and using tech to your advantage to where you are leveraging your art, not being leveraged. And that will be your best shot at sustaining a career. So going forward in 2026, as far as I'm concerned, you can look forward to a YouTube series, like a docu-series that I'm working on. It is called The True Value of Music. I'll be traveling around the country, filming episodes around the true value of music, sort of juxtaposed against how music is bringing extreme value to society, but it's not showing up in the bank accounts of the creators. So look for that project to be happening. I have my book that is coming out very soon. I'm looking so forward to it. It'll be my first time as an author. Pretty good for a dyslexic kid with ADHD and whatever else is thrown into that pile. So I'm excited for that. A lot of awesome solutions and information to help creatives. The cool thing is the feedback I'm getting from the podcast, people who have read the early versions of the book. One of the interesting bits of feedback that I'm getting is it seems to strike a chord with people that aren't even in the music industry. And that's really good to hear, and it's interesting. So I'm going to kind of take that into account moving forward to where maybe I'm able to reach a wider audience and not meant to be just specifically dialing it in on creatives, musicians. I think we're all creative, and maybe I will be speaking more on that level as a whole going forward. But the main goal is obviously to bring value to my people in the music industry, the creatives inventing the music, watching out for them, bringing as much value and help that I can. So thank you for joining me today for this short little podcast episode, a 2025 year in review. I want to thank all of you listeners that have tuned in, all my wonderful guests, and all the wonderful guests and listeners coming in 2026. Please have a wonderful, healthy, happy 2026.
If today's episode lit a fire in you, don't let it fade. Subscribe to Sold for a Song, leave a review, and be the spark that helps others discover their own worth. And if you're ready to go deeper, visit TerrenceSawchuk.com. Let's build this movement together.